The Monster is a 2016 horror film. It's an A24 film, and I love A24 films, but this was the first A24 film that disappointed me. Let me clarify, it's not a bad film. The first third of the movie is great, but it is in the later two-thirds that the problem begins to arise. The monster. Now look, we have our two main characters, Kathy, the mother, and her daughter, Lizzie. The relationship between these two are what I like most about the film. There are some intense scenes that really show the nature of the relationship between these two, and it felt very real in the way they spoke and acted. But then the monster shows up, and this is where the well-written, well-acted film turns into a generic monster movie. The two are driving down this road and they hit a wolf, only to find out that the wolf was attacked by something with really large teeth. They then call for help, and a tow truck driver shows up. He gets attacked by the monster, and in these moments, the mother and daughter act like helpless fools found in every horror movie. So, the mother and daughter are in their car, and the tow truck driver has gone missing. He reemerges into the road, injured. He then slowly makes his way to his truck, but the monster is lurking behind him. Instead of lowering their car windows or opening the door to scream at the truck driver that the monster is behind him, the mother and daughter decide to just yell in their completely closed car, windows up and everything. And on top of it, they just start honking the horn, as if that's the universal symbol for there's a monster behind you. There's this scene where the daughter has a stuffed toy that makes noise, and it would be really bad to have that when there's a monster around, right? Well, lo and behold, it makes noise. And they do the thing where the noise stops and the characters look around to see if the monster heard it. But what is dumb is that the mother leaves her back completely exposed to the car door window. And if you've ever seen a jump scare ever in your life, guess what? The monster attacks her through the car door window. So scary. But luckily, an EMT shows up and the monster runs away. The mom and daughter get into the ambulance, but oh no, the monster attacks and the EMT crew is killed. But the mom and daughter end up surviving the attack. They try getting away in the ambulance only for the monster to tackle it and flip it over. It is then revealed that the monster does not like bright lights, and the mother is suffering from internal bleeding. So she decides to sacrifice herself and let her daughter get away. But instead of getting away, her daughter decides to save her mother, but it's too late. After a sad goodbye, the daughter finds herself alone with the monster. She lures it into the ambulance with the stuffed animal, and the daughter, armed with a lighter from which she got from her mother, and a spray can that was found in the ambulance, lights the monster on fire and beats it down with a stick. The daughter then walks out of the woods, gives some monologue, and the movie ends. I was left dumbfounded. How did the monster get set on fire? If you've ever watched the movie The Host, amazing movie, I highly recommend The Host. The monster in The Monster looks kind of similar to the monster from The Host. The monster was slimy, damp looking. If you tried to set it on fire, it wouldn't suddenly burst into flames all over its body, but rather it would take a lot of fire and the monster would probably attack you and not just sit there waiting to be caught on fire. Remember when the mother sacrificed herself? Well, the way the daughter saved her was beating the monster with a hammer from the ambulance. But keep in mind, she's 10 years old, and this monster can rip off people's arms and flip over an ambulance. But somehow it's scared and injured by a hammer-wielding 10-year-old? How? Also, the monster's weakness is a bit strange. Sure, the monster is blinded by light, but when the mother is holding a makeshift torch trying to lure out the monster so that her daughter can get away, it is very obvious that the monster could just tackle her and knock the light out of her hand. It's not like the monster's skin burns from the light, it just doesn't like it. Because earlier in the movie, the monster tackled the ambulance and it had its lights on. Overall, I like the first third that focused on the mother and daughter relationship, and the farewell scene between the two was really well done. It's only when the monster is on screen that I find this movie to become an average and boring, basic horror movie. It's only an hour and a half, and it's not horrible, but I expect more from A24 films. As always, thanks for listening, have a great day, check the links in the description, and subscribe for future rambles.